When you visit a Japanese shrine, it can feel like the layout is simply traditional. A torii gate, a path, a main hall, but the shrines are not random buildings. They are designed environments. And once you learn what to look for, you start seeing signals everywhere. Let's start with a basic structure quickly. A torii marks a boundary between ordinary space and a sacred space. The approach path slows you down, purification resets you, and the prayer area is where you interact respectfully. But here's a part most visitors miss. Shrines also communicate through architecture, so I want to show you the 4 things you can read immediately. Look at the roof of many Shinto shrine buildings. You sometimes see 2 forked beams at the top. Those are chigi, and you see a short log-like pieces. Those are katsuogi. Traditionally, there's a pattern people talk about. If the chigi tips are cut vertically, it's often associated with a male kami. If cut horizontally, often associated with a female kami. And with a katsuogi, an odd even count is sometimes used in a similar way. But here's an important point. This isn't perfect universal rule. There's an exception and regional difference. So don't treat it like a test, treat it like a clue. Once you know this, you stop seeing shrines as just pretty buildings. You start seeing them as coded spaces. A lot of visitors mix up shrines and temples in Japan. Here's a simple architectural shortcut. Shrines usually have a torii at the entrance. Temples often have a summon gate and you see a Buddhism imagery. Even the roof ornaments differ. Shrines often feature chigi and katsuogi. Temples may feature different symbolic elements and statues. So if you're traveling, this matters because of etiquette, symbols, and even what you're supposed to do can differ. You probably heard of a Goshuin, the red stamp and the calligraphy you can receive at the shrine and the temples. The deeper history goes back to the pilgrimage culture and the devotional proof like offering sutra copies and receiving records of that devotion. But the way many travelers collect Goshuin today as a widespread stamp collecting hobby has become especially popular in recent decades with a noticeable boom in the 2000 to 2010. So if you want to do it, great. Just treat it with respect. It's not a game. It's not a record of visiting sacred spaces. A lot of people assume shrine weddings have existed forever. But the style we think of as a Shinto wedding ceremony became popular in the early 20th century, especially after imperial-related ceremonies and public adoption in that era. This is a pattern you see again and again in Japan. Something feels timeless, but the version we recognize today may be surprisingly modern. So what's the point of all this? So shrines aren't just a place to take photos. They're designed to shape behavior, and they communicate meaning through details. Once you learn how to read a shrine, your experience changes. You slow down, you notice, you understand. If you enjoy learning Japan beyond surface level tourism, consider subscribing. Next, I'll explain the difference between shrines and the temple in a way you can recognize instantly, so you never get confused again when you travel in Japan.